Hello, my name's Zachary Marinelli, and I live in Parsippany, New Jersey. I'm currently 20 years old, and I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to be in the fall of 2011.
The folks who are watching this video, whether or not you had any problems or any kind of learning disabilities in school.
Yeah, until senior year, or a little bit before then, maybe junior year, whenever I went to see Jane Healy, was it? Or,
Whatever you remember.
Yeah, I think it was Jane Healy. She was a neurologist, and she, did her test or whatever, figure out that I was dyslexic. So from there on till now, I finally realized I'm dyslexic.
So that you had a name for this thing.
Yeah.
And just for the record, Dr. Healy is a neuropsychologist. She's not
Just not a neurologist.
not a neurologist.
Oh, okay.
So how did you experience your dyslexia, Zach? How did it feel, and what were the problems you faced?
The biggest challenge was the course load. I would be fine in the beginning of the school year, and then as it got more challenging, I kind of got a faster pace. I couldn't keep up with it, so that's what led to kind of like a tragic fall at the end. And I would eventually just, my only option was to kind of, or what I would do to cope with it is kind of just give up, and that. So that's about it.
Did you have problems in handwriting?
Yeah.
Can you explain to the folks what they were?
I couldn't read my handwriting. Most of it was illegible. I would hand stuff in that was like chicken scratch. To have them realize that I'm a dyslexic, that was the biggest challenge, was them to recognize it.
Did they ever tell you that there was no disability, that you had nothing wrong with you?
A few on the section 504 that I had before the hearing was due to depression, which coincides with the giving up part, like I said before, because I would just have no way out. But that's how I felt. I had you have piles of work and you don't know what's going on, and it's all getting tough and no help, and that's it.
Did you have problems expressing yourself verbally in class?
Yeah.
How did you handle that?
I think I just remained quiet, just kind of under the radar.
How about reading and reading comprehension?
Reading was tough. The summer readings I barely would finish. And then the writings I had to do, I would barely do them. Like the one research paper that I had to do, I think I failed it. The sophomore, the first research paper I had, I wasn't able to organize myself and all that.
What are you good at? What are your strengths?
I would say math and science, especially the sciences.
Any specific kind of science?
I'm trying to think. I was pretty good at all at I think my favorite was earth science. A lot of the earth sciences.
And are you studying that in college?
Well, right now I'm trying to figure out if I want to do civil or meteorology.
Civil what?
Engineering. Sorry.
No, that's okay. You finished a year of college this past year?
I finished 2 years.
2 years. How did that go for you, since you didn't get the services in high school?
The one nice thing was at least the psychologist at NJIT realized that she read the reports and all that and saw the dyslexia in it. So they were very accommodating. And
what did they do?
They gave me extra time on tests. They were willing to do notes or whatever, structured notes or whatnot. I didn't really want that service, but if I ever needed it, it was there, and that was the best part. But the extra time helped a lot because I was able to pace myself and not go like the end of the school year where the pace would be so quick I wouldn't even be able to do it.
Did there ever come a time in college where you, again, similar to high school, weren't able to keep up with the workload?
There were a few parts. I know the beginning of this year was tough, and in the fall too, fall 2010 into the winter. Um, I wasn't able to do the Calc 2 was hard because I had to balance. Uh, did I have humanities? I had more of a technical writing class, and I would have to focus on that more and give that more attention. But the time I took for that, I had to trade it off with the math. So that's what.
Meaning homework time?
Yeah, homework time. Yeah, because there's only so many hours in the day.
Sure. When you were in high school, actually, and in junior high school, did the school ever blame your parents for your problems?
A lot of the times they did.
Can you explain a little bit about how that worked out and what happened?
Well, I know a lot of the times if like my mom would go for meetings with the school, and sometimes they would call DYFS on us and stuff like that, or they would say it's stuff that's happening at home, either fighting or I don't know, like a dysfunctional family, whatever they came up with.
And did they call DYFS when your mom didn't agree with their recommendations?
A few times, yes.
Okay. How did that affect you?
It affected me a lot because we would have to meet with a family counselor. I would have to explain myself, even though we were like innocent. There wasn't really anything going on. There was nothing going on at home. So, but it was stressful just for them to come and interview us, and me have to explain my story to one of the DYFS workers. You know, they would ask, has your mom or dad ever hit you? And then the other thing too is the hard part was they would try to explain or talk to my two autistic brothers, and they would not understand what was happening. So they would just say stuff that, or a lot of the time, they would repeat what the person said to them or whatever. I know Josiah does that with us, and so he would just either say yes, sure, or whatever the guy said.
So you said you have two autistic brothers,
Mm-hmm.
and are there any more siblings?
I have a younger sister. I'm the oldest of 4.
Ah, were you put in the position of having to take care of those 3 younger siblings ever?
Yeah, most of the time.
Especially the brothers, I imagine.
Yeah.
Anything that you learned from your 2 brothers who have autism?
A lot of patience, I guess kindness, generosity with our stuff, and I'm trying to think of another one. I can't think of
That's
one.
okay. Looking back at Parsippany and how they worked with you and how they educated you, if you were to think about the one thing that bothered you or upset you the most, what would it be?
I guess for them to recognize that I had a problem, or not a problem, but for them to give me the services that I wanted.
Go ahead.
I know in middle school I got the Wilson program, and then it just ended at 8th grade. We didn't continue it or whatnot, and it worked. I think it improved my reading or the ability to hear sounds. But I know I still can't hear the like the boat sound, like the O A, like those type of. Are they still no?
They're called diphthongs.
Yeah, the diphthongs. I had the hardest time trying to do those.
Right. Did you ever try to advocate for yourself with the school personnel, particularly the child study team?
I did at one meeting. It was during. It was before graduation practice, actually.
Can you tell the folks what happened?
I know there had to be maybe like 16 people there. The nurse was there, and the school psychologist was there. And I believe at that meeting, the one guy said he didn't read the reports or something like that. He didn't see the discrepancy in one of the reports, even though the math was really above average and the reading was average, but more slightly below average. So.
You're referring to the state tests?
Mm-hmm.
What are you referring to with the test scores?
I believe it might have been the IQ test and I can't remember the test.
You don't have to remember.
Yeah.
Okay. And what did you say to all 16 of those people?
That I would like to receive. We had a whole bulleted item list. I can't remember, but I believe there might have been 4 or 5 points that I wanted, and I believe we barely got one. on that list at that meeting.
What was the thing that really upset you the most and that you wanted to have changed? Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember I didn't want to be labeled as depressed or sad. I just wanted the dyslexia on the, because at that time we had the section 504, and I just wanted that to be removed, the depression part, and put in the dyslexic part.
And did they agree?
They didn't agree to that.
What was the best thing? Because we don't want to talk only about negatives. What was the best thing that you experienced during your high school?
The best part was probably hanging out with friends and having some classes with them. I know throughout the school year I had at least 1 or 2 friends in class.
Were you involved in extracurricular activities?
Yeah, I did cross country all 4 years, and winter track, except for the last year. But that was good. I like to run.
Good.
It was fun.
And you're home during this summer?
Yeah.
You're working?
I'm working at my the Township of Parsippany's engineering department.
Wow, great.
Yeah.
And what are you doing there?
Right now I'm like a part-time inspector for them, so I oversee like the contractors putting in pipe or putting in swales for the water to go through on the side of the road, stuff like that.
Pretty terrific for a depressed kid, right?
Yeah.
For the teenagers and young adults who might be looking at this video and their parents, do you have any advice for young people who have dyslexia and other kinds of learning disabilities, so that they know that even though nobody is really there in the school to help them or will agree to give them services, that there really is a light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah.
And I'm not putting words in your mouth, but do you have any advice or thoughts to share with them?
I'm trying to think. I guess. Well, I know it's kind of hypocritical, but I guess never give up, even though I know I have, but I know I shouldn't have. Or the most important part is always speak out, because I never realized, and part of this came from being on the board, student leader on the board of education, that you have so much influence just as a student, because they're there to help you. Well, as you know, they're supposed to be. But if you speak up and you create a fuss and you know you advocate for yourself, you can hopefully get what you want, and there's always another option.
Good. And any advice for parents, such as you've seen your mom and dad go through all kinds of things with your 2 brothers and with you. What can you say or suggest to parents who have children with learning disabilities?
Always stay on top of everything. Make sure that the school is doing what you want them to do, because they may change something or try to play around and make your life even more stressful than it already is. Talk to them. They're always going to be there. It's their job. They have to be there, and just kind of create a fuss for them, not in a bad way, but in a good way. Say, hey, is the bus getting there to the place that my child's going? What else? Are they going to speech? And then the other thing is set good goals and make sure that they're getting to those goals and all that, and whatever they want in their IEPs.
Any closing remarks? The floor is yours, Zachary. Anything that you'd like to say, regardless of the question, whatever you'd like to share.
I guess never give up.
That's it. Thanks so much, honey.
Yeah, you're
Bye-bye.
welcome. Yep.